Hello, everyone. I'm Kira.
And I'm Mika.
And welcome to the second episode of our podcast. We want to start by thanking everyone for the love. For the very first episode, we're feeling the love.
Yeah, we got some great feedback and reviews, so I'm feeling good.
Oh, yeah, I'm feeling good too. I want to thank our friends and those listeners who happen to stumble across our podcast. We feel the love.
Yes, love the likes, love the subscribing.
Oh, yes, and hopefully we can replicate the magic. As we go forward. And so before we get started tonight, let's let everyone know what we're drinking.
Okay, so this is Mika. So, I'm keeping it very basic again. So I have a nice, Lipton.
Lipton tea, yes, okay.
I think maybe next week I might be adventurous. Who knows?
Okay. And I definitely see plenty of sugar was added.
Yes, but I've done a good job. I've only added 2 scoops of sugar, so not my usual 4.
Okay. And this is Kira speaking, you guys. For me, I just have a nice little lemongrass tea tonight, and I did add a lemon wedge this time.
Okay.
Keeping it very me.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a nice little spice.
Okay, yep. Okay, everybody. So tonight's episode, me and Mika were just thinking recently about all of the TV content that currently exists and how much is out there currently.
Yes, it's a lot.
Yes. And so we decided to talk about TV viewing past versus present.
Yeah, we wanted to look at kind of the pros and cons, and we also reached out to some of our subscribers and friends and families just to get their viewpoints on how they think TV viewing has changed.
Yes, and so we're going to go back in the day, but we're not going to do like back in the day 40s, 50s, 60s. I don't even know if was TV out in the 40s. I don't know. We are more or less going to be talking about TV viewing as we grew up.
Yeah, so that'd be like
80s onward.
Yeah, early 90s.
Yes.
Present.
Exactly. And so we're going to kind of break down past versus present, pros and cons for each, and just kind of go through it and see what we got.
Yeah, okay. So the first pro, I think, for TV in early 80s, early 90s.
It's out 2000s, early 2000s.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that you had a smaller selection of channels, would you say?
Oh, yes. I felt like the channels were stationary. Like, they were a limited selection, but you knew the lineup. There was not a lot. It's a limited selection, but you knew what they were.
Yeah, it was ABC. I know, right?
Yep.
CBS.
Yep.
There was NBC.
Yep.
Fox.
Yep.
We had UPN and UPN9 where we were.
Yes, RIP, rest in peace to UPN9. Yes.
And WB.
Yes, WB, rest in peace to WB.
Yeah, those combined, right? Channel UPN9 and WB combined.
To become the CW, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, okay.
And then you had a few cable channels.
Yes. So I recall, like, back in the 90s, especially in early 2000s, Lifetime was a staple for us.
Oh, yes.
Yes, you guys. And me and Miko have already discussed doing an upcoming episode of the podcast dedicated to Lifetime. Not present-day Lifetime, but Lifetime in its heyday, the 90s, early 2000s, its reigning era, in my opinion.
Yeah, because I don't think we even watch Lifetime now. But we
don't watch Lifetime now?
No, we don't. But I'm talking about, like, Joanna Kearns.
Yes, Meredith Baxter, Lifetime.
So we thought it would be fun, and that's going to be the future podcast episode.
Yeah, so we're going to give that to you guys. Hint, upcoming. Yes. And so, there was just a few channels, Lifetime, and a few other extended cable channels as well. But it was limited.
Yeah.
Yes, but I like that.
Yeah, I loved it because you knew, like, we had our staple television shows on each channel.
Exactly.
And it was just so you knew what to watch on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It was pretty consistent.
And even though you didn't have a lot of variety, the content was enjoyable. And I felt like we had shows that we really liked that we looked forward to seeing each week.
Oh, yeah. I think we dabbled into a lot.
Oh, definitely. So one thing that I remember fondly, especially with ABC, was my TGIF.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, my Friday lineup.
Yeah.
Now, you guys, I felt like the Friday lineup changed from time to time, but it gave me my Perfect Strangers. Remember my Balky?
Yeah, because I think it started off with Perfect Strangers.
Do you remember the lineup? Then Full House, right?
Full House.
Oh, Step by Step.
Step by Step.
What was the
Family Matters?
Family Matters? Yes, and then it kind of changed, and like over time, it added like Sister, hanging with Mr. Cooper, Boy Meets World.
Yeah, so it changed a bit.
It changed a bit, but that's something that we lived on TGIF. Every single Friday, we were at our TV, 8 o'clock, watching our lineup.
Yeah, and I think in Thursday lineup, I thought was pretty fire in the early 90s because it was Martin
Yep.
at 8 o'clock.
Oh, but give them the network Fox. Fox was on fire.
Yeah, Fox. It was because it was like, let me see, Martin at 8.
Yep.
Then I think it was Living Single at 8:30.
Was it? Oh, yeah, they were 30 minutes.
Yeah, 30 minutes each, and then 9 o'clock was New York Undercover.
Yes, but you know what I think they did eventually? I think they started at 9:30, and New York Undercover was at 10.
Yeah.
Yes, oh, that lineup was so fire. Yes, yes. And I remember NBC gave me, now the Cosby Show, I know we're not going to delve into that, but then A Different World.
Mhm.
So we stayed on NBC pretty regularly too. Remember Fresh Prince of Bel-Air?
That's true.
Yes. So overall, even though you had limited channels, the content was very, very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the selection you had was pretty good.
Yes, and I remember on the CW in particular. Oh my gosh, see, they already calling it the CW, WB.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
WB was when you had the full.
Yes, yes. But think about Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh.
Staple. And then Saturday afternoon movies on the WB.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
And they had a pretty good lineup of movies. Like, I think my favorite was, you remember Legends of Billie Jean?
Yes. Oh my gosh, staple.
They used to play that out.
For people who have not seen The Legend of Billie Jean, get on it. Okay, Christian Slater, Helen Slater, classic. Yes, yes.
Not only is the movie good, that soundtrack.
That soundtrack fire. Yes, for real, straight fire. So yeah, it was very enjoyable. I liked the pro was that you knew when shows were coming on. Another pro that I was thinking about specifically was it was more of an experience, if you will.
Oh, so like you had to be like, what do you mean?
So for me personally, what I liked is in the past, you absolutely knew on Monday nights. So I'll give you an example. You remember on the WB, one of my favorite dramas was Savannah?
Oh, yeah.
Produced by the Aaron Spelling. He
Yeah.
gave me all those hits in the 90s and early 2000s. But for you guys who never heard of Savannah, it came on, it started on Sunday nights on the WB and then went to Monday nights. And we were like 13 when they came out.
Yeah, and that was kind of like the soap opera.
The little soap opera drama. And I used to always love my Peyton, my Travis, a little love affair on that show. And I knew every Monday night I was there like clockwork, 9 o'clock station, ready from start to finish.
Well, you really had to be there because that's another difference, because if you did miss the show, you missed it.
Oh, no, that's true. That's true.
There was no.
Well, think about it. Back then, you're right. There were no reruns.
No.
Now, if you were lucky to have a VCR and you had some blank tapes,
Yeah, you could.
you could record it and you can set your VCR to record it. But most cases, if you missed it, you missed it.
You missed it.
Yeah, because I can recall when we did miss episodes, you literally relied on friends to give you the best recap
Yeah.
ever.
And some shows I could not miss.
Yeah.
Like, a clear example was when we went to get, because we braid our hair. We went that morning to get, do you remember we went that morning to get our hair braided?
Bright and early.
And I thought I was going to get home in time. This was on a Saturday. And my Saturday staple was always, it was Hercules at 8, and then it was Xena at 9.
Did you watch Hercules?
I did. I stayed with Hercules.
Okay.
I kind of fell off, but yeah, it was Hercules at 8.
Okay.
And
Yep.
then it was Xena at 9.
Xena Warrior Princess.
Yeah, and so I think we got there in the afternoon, and she was pretty confident. Am I gonna be done?
Yeah, I mean, you were looking at that clock like you was not playing.
So, okay, hold on. You gonna be done with my hair by 9? Yes. And I was like, all right, the clock.
And then clock was ticking by.
Ticking. And I almost lost my mind because I said, if I miss this episode, it's gone.
That's it.
It's out in the atmosphere.
And think about this, you guys. Mika was obsessed with Xena Warrior Princess. Now, I love Xena too. We want to put always respect on her name. But you love that series. And this would have been, if you didn't watch this episode, this would have been like the end of the world.
Yeah, and it wasn't like even, because really what would have happened, I mean, you wouldn't have known what you missed, but it was like, I could have.
That gab was too much to bear. And so I remember basically, you guys, it was so funny. Our mother had took us to go braid our hair. And so she wasn't even home to actually go record. And my mother's so funny. She was like, I'm not leaving to go press record and come back to get you. And so we found one of our good friends and literally begged her, please find a blank tape and record this episode.
And it's cold red.
And she was able to do it. She came through.
You see what I'm saying? You had to be in front of that TV to watch the content during that time, because if you missed it, like, who could see in the future to say, like, oh, there would be DVD, CDs, boxes.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly. Like the physical media.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, so I basically was thinking, like, you know, one of the pros was you experience it more fully. There was less distraction, in my opinion. So right now you have so many devices that people aren't even really watching TV. They have it on, but basically can be doing a million other things.
Yeah, you can get easily distracted.
Yeah. And so I love the fact that you were watching it in real time. It was more of an experience. I recall fondly having my snacks, my drink, and just sitting there, and I had no other distraction. I was just watching it.
Oh, yeah. And that's different because now you can even some people live tweet shows.
Yep.
Some people do streaming with shows. And so I can see how that could be distracting, because are you really focused on it?
Right. Exactly. So I felt that was a pro. Now, a con, like for me personally, the biggest con was if you missed it, you missed it.
Yeah, like I said. Yeah, like if you weren't in front of that TV, that show was gone.
Right.
Like you said, hopefully a friend could give you a really good recap, or hopefully maybe someone did record it.
Right.
We did have some friends who recorded like shows on VHS.
Right.
Like X-Files or things like that.
Yeah, and I recall if they lent you that VCR tape, you better bring it back in the same condition they gave it to you. Yeah.
Hey, sometimes I did eventually start recording some of my favorite shows too while I was watching, because I thought, oh, you didn't know you were going to have seasons, box sets of these seasons. So, hey, let me record it. So if I want to go back to the episode, I can go back to myself.
And you know what's so funny? You still have all your VHS tapes.
I do.
Yeah, because I remember, now look how funny this is, you guys. Like we told you, we're going to give you an upcoming episode of Lifetime content. But remember his Bodyguard?
Yeah.
Now that was a favorite movie in the 90s that premiered on Lifetime, you guys. You can't find that movie now to save your life.
No,
but when Mika is feeling like, I want to see the Bodyguard, baby, you're not breaking up that.
Break it out.
There you go.
Yeah, VHS.
Prime example. Yes. So
and we still have everything set up. We have the DVD player, we have the Blu-ray player, and that VHS player.
Exactly. But that made me think about all the VHS tapes you still have.
Yeah, because some of that stuff
you can't find. Exactly. So when we think about now TV viewing in present day, okay, what would you say is a pro?
Okay, so because this can be a pro and a con.
Okay.
But why is a pro is, I love that there is so much content.
Okay.
Yeah, so literally, I think you can find a TV show for any person's interest.
Yep.
A diverse selection. Of content. It's just there.
Okay.
And there's multiple platforms right now outside of mainstream TV channels and cable.
Okay, I agree. Okay, so I like that. That is a pro. I definitely like the fact now for any person, you can find something that is going to be something you're interested in, and you're going to find something that's right up your alley. And I definitely would agree that I find that there are more diverse shows out there and there's more representation. It's really interesting because I remember in the 90s, I felt like, for example, there was a lot of African-American shows on that really, right?
It kind of seems before we got like the streaming and the platform.
Streaming networks. Yeah.
There was because we watched Different World. It was Cosby Show. Yeah, it was Martin. It was Living Single.
Smart Guy.
Yeah, New York Undercover.
The Parkers, Moesha. There was a lot of black shows on, and it almost felt like it went in reverse.
Yeah.
And like you said, you are starting to see more content today, but I definitely think that's in part because there's so many outlets and streaming platforms that can highlight them more so now.
Yeah, and you're even exposed to foreign media.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Now we can watch. I watch a lot of British shows.
Of course we do.
You know, we've been able to watch a couple shows from Australia,
Canada,
a couple Scandinavian shows.
Yep.
We're trying to get into some Asian drama.
Yes, we on that.
I know we got to do that because one of our friends told us to get on it.
But no, I get what you're saying. So I definitely think, yes, a pro is there's a lot of content that one can consume and that an individual person can find something of interest. And you know what I was just thinking about too? Think about all the genres. So I could be someone that just straight loves reality TV. There's plenty of that exists.
And that can be, for me, horror.
Exactly.
Yeah, which could be good or bad, because when I look at horror, let's say just Netflix, right?
Mhm.
Then they breaking down all those subgenres. So how you want it? You know, do you want to give me some psychological?
Oh, I see what you're
Do
saying.
you want cold?
Okay, I see what
Okay,
you're
do
saying.
you want possession?
Okay, okay.
It's breaking that down even more.
Yes. So this would almost be a con for me. So for the Libra spirit in us, the indecisive spirit that is
That's
us,
true.
not sometimes, too much content overwhelms us. So think about that as a pro. You love the fact that now there's a pro. You love the fact that there's a lot to choose from, but the con is there's too much damn content to choose from.
Yeah, because often we find ourselves going through, what are we watching?
What do you want to see? What you want to watch?
And then we going through the list. I'm like,
Girl, just put on Aliens.
yeah. And that's the problem too. Then we just throw on something we've seen before.
Yeah, it's easier sometimes.
Yeah, because you're like, oh, I know I like it. You know what I mean?
Hey, so literally we'll just kind of throw that on because yes, we've seen it, we know we like it, and it's easy. It was an easy decision.
Yeah, so that can be tough because it does take us a long time to make a decision.
Yes.
And we end up with like an endless watch list.
Oh, definitely. Well, you know what I'll say? The pro I like is that we have a watch list.
That's true.
Right? And so that would be a pro in terms of present day. You can kind of plan out the shows that you want to watch. I think the problem sometimes is finding enough time in a day, in a week, in a month to watch all those shows. Because how many shows did you tell me was just out last year alone?
Oh my God, so 2021, 550 TV shows, and that's across mainstream channels like the NBCs, the ABCs, broadcast, cable, and streaming platforms.
That's insane.
So think about that. It's like 365 days.
65.
You know, in a year. This is not included movies.
Okay.
It's just television shows.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And see, think about that. So if there were 550 shows in 2021 alone, there's no way you're going to like watch all of it. And then the sad thing sometimes about it is we could actually be missing, we are missing really good shows just because, one, we don't know that they're out there. And then secondly, they're just on that watch list that we haven't gotten to.
Yeah, and that's where recommendations come in. Because we learned about some great shows based on friends' recommendations.
True.
Or viewers' recommendations.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, one pro I would say is the ability to cut the cord. So
That's true.
think about in the past, you were kind of beholden to the traditional cable companies. And so you enter these contracts and usually paid an arm and a leg for all these, limited channels at first, but then a lot of channels that we never watch. I think when we paid for cable, we only watched ID?
Yeah, that was pretty much it. Well, it was ID.
HGTV.
I think we would throw in some HGTV.
Shout out to HGTV. My people love it. Yes.
Maybe some AMC.
AMC. Okay. Oh, some TLC.
Some TLC.
Yes, but we literally, you guys probably had about maybe what, would you say 5 to 8?
Maybe.
If that we
were
watched.
paying like all that money for cable, and I think all we did watch was like 5 channels.
Yes, and then maybe we watched the BBC, America, in the of it, yeah. But I would say you're right. Maybe we watched about 5 or 6 channels, and we were paying for mostly channels we never even watched.
Yeah, now I think we haven't had cable in, what do you say? How many?
Like 6 years?
Like 6 years.
Maybe 7.
Yeah, but we do have a couple. What streaming platforms do we pay for?
Okay, so let's break this down. So, you guys, when we think about streaming channels, you gotta be smart about how you stream, right?
Yes.
Okay, so shout out to the kid sis, baby sis. She allows us the ability to watch Hulu.
Yes.
I mean, I did wish she paid for the Hulu with no ads, but we're not stingy. We're not unappreciative.
Yeah.
So our little sister allows us to have Hulu and Disney Plus.
Oh, yes.
Yes, okay. Now, we pay for Netflix.
Yes, Netflix.
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. You have HBO Max.
Yes, and let me say my HBO Max is through my AT&T. But I still pay.
You pay for it.
I'm paying for it, yeah. They said it's free, but I'm paying, yeah.
For it.
Okay. And so what's that? HBO Max, Netflix, Amazon Prime. I feel like we do something
Oh, I do Shudder.
Oh, you do Shudder.
I gotta have my
Yes. Oh, YouTube TV.
Oh, YouTube TV.
Yes. Okay, so what you think?
And that gives us a little bit of the cable channels that
Right.
we watch.
But what would you say? So
I still think it's cheaper.
it is cheaper because I would think we under what? Maybe we under 60? Is that too low?
That might be too low. Maybe
What am I giving 75?
a little bit higher.
Like 80? We up in 80? We're not over 100.
No, I think we below 100.
Okay, it's still cheaper than cable. But that would bring into question, though, a con. Let me break you down what I'm thinking. Because depending on what you want to watch, and they're on different streaming platforms. I mean, by the time you get Peacock, Paramount, Netflix, Shudder.
Hey, that's what's ticking me off, though, because some of the shows that we used to, like The Office, which was on Netflix, they don't have the license anymore.
True.
So now you want me to I'm not getting Peacock.
No, and see, that's when I was go straight physical media. I'm buying the box set.
And see, that's why I collect. Let me give an example for that Hulu you did.
Okay.
That craziness you did.
I know what you're about to say.
Yeah, so because we
first of all, we refuse to pay for the Hulu ourselves. We're not paying for the Hulu with no ads.
Yeah.
So I'm using the one with ads.
Yeah, so Kira, because one of the series we often rewatch is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
True.
Love that series. So instead of, because I had that collection on physical media,
True.
but it's not out.
Well, explain what you mean by not out.
Oh, so I have a lot of my Blu-rays and DVDs out, but my TV shows, I keep those packed away.
Yep.
So they're not out on
display. Yep.
Yeah, so if you want Buffy, I mean, you're going to have to, I know where it is, but you're going to have to dig her out.
Okay, yep.
But Kira did not want to dig her out. So she decided to watch Buffy on Hulu
with commercials.
So it took years in my mind
to get through.
To the point where I was like, if you don't go in there and dig this Buffy collection out, because that was ridiculous.
Oh, but you know what I would say about that? Because think about this. Yes, it took me forever to get through Buffy. I will admit that. But I did appreciate the commercial breaks because it allowed me to go to the bathroom. It allowed me to get a snack. It allowed
Kira, what can you do with the physical media?
Oh, pause it. Okay. That's right. What am I talking about? You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
We said we in the future now.
True. You're right. So you can pause. I can actually pause it in real time. There you go. That's a pro.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. I forgot about that. You're right. That's true. Okay. One thing that I will say, though, is I do like the fact that you don't have to have a plan through Charter. You don't have to have a plan through Verizon Fios or the Dish anymore. Now you can say, I've cut the cord and I only do YouTube TV. I only need Netflix. So that to me is a pro.
Yeah.
Yes. And then another pro also is that I do now have the ability to kind of pick and choose what I want to pay for.
Oh, yes. But to go back on what we were talking about before with so much content, like finding enough time to watch it, I think another pro, well, it could be a pro and a con.
Okay.
But a pro of all these streaming platforms is the ability to binge.
Okay. See, I view binging pro and con. Like, what you
that's what I said. Because I said the pro is, because you know me, if I'm loving an episode, I can keep going.
Right.
I'm like, ooh, you gave me a whole season. I can finish that whole season in a day.
You know what? You've done that quite often. I remember Orange is the New Black. You finished that in one sitting.
I've done a couple shows like that. Because they've been so good. And I find myself, which is crazy, and I know other people do that too, is sometimes if I'm binging and I have to go to work the next day or if I have to go to an event,
right.
Sometimes I'm counting, like, if I throw in one more episode, how many hours of sleep am I going to get?
And you got,
it can be bad that way.
Yes. And you guys, sometimes I remind Mika that it's not going nowhere, right? So you just watch 8 episodes in a row. You can watch them, but not tomorrow.
Like, I need it. I need to watch it now.
Yes. I mean, okay, so binging is a pro because I definitely understand that if you wanted to continue to watch it, you have the opportunity to, so you can finish it quickly. But I also feel sometimes what's lost in that is that you really aren't, maybe you are enjoying it. Some people can binge and feel like they enjoyed it. I feel like sometimes you really are rushing through it. Like, you're not really able to take the time to kind of really...
Well, you're not absorbing it.
You're not really sitting with it. Like, so digesting the episode, like, really, let me watch episode 1. Let me sit with how I felt about that. Let me kind of just think about that stew on that. Maybe rewatch it again. You do?
I think I do.
Okay, you do?
Because I'm saying, I know, because even some heavy stuff, I've watched some heavy stuff, and I know sometimes you can be like,
okay, so I'll explain this, you guys. Sometimes Mika will watch. We both can watch, of course, content that's pretty heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, for example, I can watch episode 1 and say, you know what? There was so much to unpack. I need to take a minute. I might need to go from something heavy, you guys, to Love It or List It.
Oh, yeah. Throw in some comedy.
Give me some comedy. Give me some lightweight, some home decor.
Yeah.
Okay? And you, for instance, will literally say, wow, that was a lot to unpack, girl. Episode 2.
Yeah.
And so that's what I mean sometimes.
Yeah, you're like, oh, you watched episode 1 and you went to 2 like that? Yeah.
And I said, and you want 3 now.
Yeah.
So sometimes I've been on one and then Mika's literally like 4 episodes in, and I just got to take a little bit more time to sit with that episode.
I get what you're saying, because sometimes maybe you should do that.
Yeah.
Because like you said, back in the day when you had to wait a whole week before you got to an episode, maybe you were spending that week talking about it, getting ready for it.
Yeah, and think about how we used to be with our friends. Like, let's take it back again. Think about when we watch an episode, I'm giving you Savannah again. When we watch an episode of Savannah, the next day you were in school, you were talking about it, you were breaking it down, you were kind of analyzing the characters, their motives, their intentions. People were like kind of already foreshadowing what next episode. I really felt like you really took the time to dissect the episode. And I'm not saying you don't do that now. I just feel like people can lose a lot because they already in episode 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah, girl, because you watched it Friday, I'm done. Saturday. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, see? Yeah, I get what you said. No, that's true.
You see what I'm saying? So I think it is a pro and con of binging. Yes, I like the fact that if you start a series and you love it, you can just sit there, enjoy it, and finish it. But I also think it's a con because I just don't think sometimes people actually are appreciating it fully, watching it and absorbing it fully.
Yeah, that's true.
You get it?
I can see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see what I mean by that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the same thing can be seen too, like the topics. A lot of shows, I know we asked viewers some of the things that they thought had changed. A lot of people said there's more violence on TV.
Oh, yeah. So you guys, if we go into, let's jump into kind of what our subscribers share, what our listeners share. So yes, what people and what ways people thought TV involved or changes was, yes, there's more violence on TV, and you vividly are showing like the violence. Definitely more nudity.
Yeah, but and I think some stories though, those do fit the narrative. I can see how some ways it can be extreme, depending on the show. But sometimes I think you need certain violence to speak to the narrative of the story.
Right. So I would agree with that. What I like about it is that I have the right to consume that show if I want to.
Yeah, and it's available.
And it's available to me. So that piece is what I like. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Something else that, one answer that was so funny to me summed it up perfectly. How has TV evolved? A lot.
Yeah.
That was the So I said that sums it up perfectly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's, like you said, another thing too is where you watch your TV is different. You're not, like you said, you like the fact that before you can be stationary and in one place and you just watch the TV in the living room, you in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have TVs in the bedroom.
Oh,
but now you have the ability to, you can watch TVs on your tablet, you can watch it on your laptop, you can watch it on so many types of devices. Right. You don't have to be stationary in one place.
Now, see, that is a pro to me. I do like the fact that I can be mobile, in motion, watching my content. Because you know what's the best thing for present day for me? You guys, I'm going to take it back. I remember I used to be in a doctor's office just sitting there. Now, I used to have my Walkman, my CD Walkman. I had my little devices to get me through. Now, you guys, I'm sitting in that waiting room watching my movie, watching my TV show.
You know what they do tell you, though?
What?
What's it? All them doctors always have them songs.
Mika, not in the waiting room. Mika, in the exam room, they don't put the phone on. In the waiting room, girl, they've all that. Where, Mika?
The dentist's office.
Mika, the dentist is different.
No phone.
No, they in our dentist's office, yes, they are anti-cell phones.
You're not supposed to be.
I hear you, but no, I'm talking about like in the PCP office. I could just.
No, I get what you said. I'm just playing.
Yeah, okay. Because think about how long I wait there. Like now I can actually sit there, watch my little news, watch my TV series real quick, watch a YouTube video if I like.
But you know what's a con too?
Okay, why?
Because again, sometimes it's late at night and I have this phone on under the covers and I'm not going to sleep.
Oh, that's true. I've definitely
I'm counting my hours.
Oh, I've definitely been guilty of that.
Yeah.
Oh, so okay, I get what you're saying. So a con would more or less be not knowing when to turn it off.
That's true.
Because you have the accessibility to kind of be in motion with your device.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So pro and con there. Pro that you have the ability to be in the living room watching the stationary TV, be in the kitchen on my laptop, be in the room on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So
it travel where you go.
That is true. Okay, so I see a pro and con to both of that. Okay, all right. Well, we would really be curious to see you guys based off what we shared, you adding to the conversation,
Yeah.
you adding to the dialogue. In what ways have you seen TV evolve? Please share on our social media platforms. And then also, what things from the past do you miss?
Oh yeah, and what don't you miss?
What don't you miss? And what things in the present that you love? And what things in present TV viewing habits that you can't stand, that you don't like? Please share with us. We'd be curious to see if they're in line with what we shared or if they're starkly different.
Oh yes, yes.
Okay.
Now, do we want to end with just kind of letting people know what we're currently watching?
Sure. Yeah, that'll be good.
Okay.
Well, you know what? One thing that I'm watching, you guys, and this is the true crime fan in me. Now, Mika know I can live on ID channel. We do. And when I tell you guys,
That's one of the problems too, because that I can get us in trouble with watching new content.
oh, that is true. Now look at that. Would you say this is a distraction?
Because it'd be good.
It do be good. And you guys, I'm about to give you, when I say we know the titles, we know the titles. Wives with Knives.
Killer Twin.
Killer Twins, yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Evil Twin.
Nightmare Next Door.
Evil Lives Here. Fear Thy Neighbor.
Yes.
Oh my God. Southern Fraud Homicide.
Oh my, I know.
Yeah, so you guys, the true crime fan in me is loving Renee Zellweger's new series, The Thing About Pam, on Hulu. I listened to the podcast. It is so good. Like, it engrosses you from the very first episode. The best thing about the series is Keith Morrison, who's one of the hosts on Dateline, is the narrator of the TV show.
Yeah, so Kira started it. I have to start that.
Yes, it's really good. So I'll just say, if you're a true crime fan, if you love Renee Zellweger, if you are into a whodunit, this is the series to watch.
Yeah.
And I'm not giving too much away. It starts out with a murder. You just got to figure out who did it.
Another one we're watching is together is From,
Mm-hmm.
and that's on Epic.
Yep.
And hopefully I don't butcher his name, but we did tell you we may butcher some names.
We did.
Henry Perrineau. He played on Lost.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I think people will know who he is.
Yeah.
But the show, I would say, is a mix of Under the Dome.
Okay. Okay, I can see that.
Plus Lost.
Right. They definitely lost.
Yeah. Yeah, plus Lost.
And what would you like? Salem's Lot. Salem's Lot.
Yeah.
No, that's a good description, and that's giving people a little taste.
A little taste, because it follows these group of individuals. They all land.
They end up in this random town
Separate times throughout the years.
Some have been there for their entire childhood, 4 years, different time frames.
Yeah, but the key is that once you enter the town, you can't leave it.
You can't leave it. And the bigger thing that occurs is you can't be out at night.
Yeah, because there's these creatures. Is that what you call them?
Well, they look like human beings, but they definitely
I don't know.
they tear you to shreds, basically.
Yeah, basically be in
before dusk.
Yeah.
Okay? Yes, be in the house before dusk.
But we're really enjoying it.
Yes, and so the horror fan would actually enjoy this.
Yeah, and the great thing about this is it reminds me of an older TV viewer because you can't binge it.
Oh, that's right. Every single Sunday it comes on. Sunday at I think it's 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I don't remember the time.
Right, Sunday night.
Yeah, but every week we waited. So now you can't binge it.
Right. And I do like that because we find ourselves every single. See, I know like to binge, but what I mean by that is I like, okay, this upcoming Sunday we're gonna get a new episode.
Yeah, and they know what they're doing because if they had all those seasons,
it would have been done. But be mindful, don't forget, this is how we used to watch TV, everyone, in real time on the day it premiered and so forth.
I don't like it.
Yes, and I think the last thing that we noted is Julia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so Julia, which Sarah Lancashire. I'm saying her name right? I didn't brutalize that. I think right. Okay, English British actress, the best. She can play any part. I'm so glad that she's getting the global recognition she deserves.
Yeah, we might cover her on the actor spotlight.
We're definitely going to cover her on the actor spotlight. But how would you describe the series? So she portrays Julia Childs.
Yeah, I like this part of it because we've seen movies about
like Julia with Meryl Streep.
Yeah, but this one kind of focuses on. I like how it focuses on her marriage.
Oh right.
Behind the scenes.
Oh, her relationship with like a family
and friends.
Right.
And I love how
It shows a vulnerable side of
and it shows how she developed the TV show from the ground up.
Right. And what I would say, what I would encourage people, even if you don't think this is like your speed or something that kind of is sparking your interest, I would say give it at least the first episode.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do because you always tell me to like don't count the show out because I've been really big with. Sometimes I do.
Yes, I'll briefly say this, you guys. I watched Queen's Gambit independently. And I loved it. I just thought it was an excellent series. And I cannot count the times that I told Mika, please watch Queen's Gambit. Could you please watch Queen's Gambit? And you were like,
and I did say, I was like, well, what's it about? And you said, I said, so it's about a woman who plays chess.
And I was trying to give you the backstory with the orphanage. I was trying to really sell it, but you could not get over like, well, I don't know if I'm going to be into that. And you guys, funny fact, we were on the chess club in high school. Me and Mika, sidebar, we can play some chess now. Okay, don't sleep on us. Okay, we can play some chess.
Yeah.
So I automatically thought she would be like, oh, yeah, I want to see it.
You weren't selling it because I was like, okay.
And so literally you took a Saturday, one Saturday, you said, let me sit down and watch this because I just was too repetitive at this point. Did you not love Queen's Gambit?
I did.
Right?
I loved it.
You gave it its flowers, you gave it its praise.
Yeah, I did like it.
And so that's what I mean. We encourage you to give a show a try.
Yeah.
Don't assume that you won't like it. And Julia is one of those shows. Don't just think it's about the chef, Julia Childs, and why would I want to watch a show about her?
Well, she the ultimate chef.
I get it, but she's so much more. It is very well done. And again, it's another series that is actively, you can't binge it. It's in real time, premieres every Thursday.
Yeah, no, maybe in a future episode too, we can kind of break down a little bit more about.
Right, because what we would like to do, you guys, going forward is we're going to continue to share with you what we're watching in terms of TV viewing, and then also what movies we're watching, but we'll go into a little bit more detail and have some more introspection with the actor spotlights for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think we can wrap it up now. But again, if you guys can please answer those questions about how TV viewing has changed for you.
What do you miss? What do you not miss? We would definitely be interested in hearing.
Yeah, and also give us some recommendations.
Oh, exactly. And then also, you guys, we definitely want to hear from you guys what you want us to be talking about. We're open to kind of seeing what you would like us to watch.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I think that's it. You know, finishing up my tea, still kind of piping hot over here.
I'm on.
Okay, all right. Okay, you guys, so episode 3 next Friday. All right. Bye.